Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Foley, and I'd like to welcome everyone to episode 5 of The Village. So, again, you all, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I love The Village. Those of you all that are tuning in every week, you don't understand how much this means to me. So, I'm asking that you all keep questions coming. Whatever you all need advice with, and I can help, I am here to do so. So, no, once again, I am not a psychologist, but I am an educator that cares. I want to see that you all become successful, that you accomplish all of your goals and dreams. And in any way that I can help, I'm here to do so. All right, so let's get the show started. So I just discovered a couple of questions in my DMs that I feel like I need to address. So I'm going to address those today, and then on Thursday, I'll be back with the rest of the questions. All right, here we go. So the first question reads, I've always had a really small figure and have been jealous of girls who are considered thick. Any advice on how to raise my self-esteem or to not worry about my body image? So first understand that you asked about raising your self-esteem. So again, remember that that begins with yourself. It begins with you. So you have to embrace your body, whether you consider yourself to be slender, however you consider yourself, you have to embrace that. You have to love yourself inside and out. And most importantly, you have to know that it's not what's on the outside that counts, it's what's on the inside that counts. So I understand. It is perfectly normal to admire someone or to maybe want to be more shapely or more curvier. That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, you have this body that you were given, and you have to embrace that and learn to accept yourself, flaws and alls, at a certain point in time. I'm not going to say that I struggled with my weight, but I did desire to be a certain size. So I found myself going the extra mile to do so. And when I did finally lose the weight, I did feel good about myself, but that didn't change who I was, or it didn't make me a better person, or it didn't make people treat me better. So you have to understand that you have to love yourself first. There's nothing wrong with wanting to go out and maybe become stronger or different things like that and pertaining to your body, but you have to love the skin that you're in because this is what you were given. And you're unique. There's no one else like you, so you have to love that. And most importantly, just remember that there is always someone that wants the body that you have. So you're not the only one. I'm almost positive you're not the only one that goes through this. Some of my students have expressed these same thoughts to me, but as I've stated before, I just feel that it's more important to love who you are and go from there. Village. Okay. My next question, it reads, sorry guys. What can you do when someone says you're ugly, bullies you, calls you names, and doesn't respect you? So first, let me say I'm sorry that you are currently experiencing this negativity in your life at the moment. And my first thought would be to say to ignore it. So I know to say to ignore that someone's saying you're ugly, bullying you, calling you names, disrespecting you. That's probably the last thing that you want to do. But at the end of the day, it's about your character and what kind of person that you truly are. So if you feel threatened or if you feel bullied to the point of where it's affecting you. So maybe your self esteem or it's causing you not to be focused in school, different things like that. Definitely tell an adult. Let an adult know what's going on anyway so they can be aware of the situation. But you have to know that you're not ugly. So it doesn't matter if someone calls you ugly as long as you know that you're not ugly. Now, I'm not saying that words can't hurt. Sometimes someone can't say something to a point where we actually start to believe them because we know that that happens. But for the most part, it's not about what they call you, it's about what you answer to. So you have to know that you are none of these things. Now, as I've stated before, if you're being bullied, definitely tell someone. If this is an ongoing thing, I would tell anyone who is willing to listen so maybe they can come in and try to rectify the situation. But why this person is bullying you, disrespecting you, or picking on you may definitely have something to do with themselves. So I've talked about on a previous episode, some people do these things because they are unhappy with themselves, and that's no fault of your own. You're just kind of more or less a victim of circumstance. So tell someone, but at the end of the day, you have to know that there are always going to be people in life that talk about you maybe not necessarily disrespect you, but you may be disrespected again in life. And you have to be the bigger person for the most part and know how to handle that situation. And for me personally, if this were happening to me, I would ignore it. But I definitely would tell someone. So just because you don't react or become hostile or want to fight them or act aggressively, that doesn't say anything about you. So some may believe, well, I'm not going to just let them do that. I want to initiate a fight with them or do something disrespectful to them. So as I stated, as difficult as it may be to just not do too much of anything, maybe walk away if anything, I definitely would still just tell an adult, make them aware of what's going on. But you have to know that those things that they're telling you have nothing to do with you. And for the most part, they may have everything to do with that person. So nobody likes to be bullied. Hey, those of you all that are out there bullying, please stop. It's not funny. It's not a game. It's really serious, and it's an issue in schools that needs major attention. So you don't ever want to bully someone and push them to the edge of where it results in negative consequences. So if you are being bullied, as I stated before, I would definitely tell someone. I wouldn't just sit idle and watching time go by, because it could possibly, I'm not saying it will, but it could possibly escalate. And you want to make sure that someone knows what was going on prior to the escalation. So if you can at all, I would continue to walk away. I wouldn't really allow that to get to me. I wouldn't allow it to affect my self esteem or how I feel about myself overall. That is just something that, like I stated earlier, I believe, and I'm not a psychologist, but I believe that that person may be going through and they're indirectly or directly taking it out on you, which is not fair, but sometimes that happens in life. So even though you may not look at it this way, you can use this negative situation and turn it into a positive. And what I believe is the most positive thing that you can do in regards to a situation like this is, one, be the bigger person, but two, be successful in the end. So always remember that you have control over this situation, make someone aware, but know that at the end of the day, you determine if what person says is true. So growing up, I always used to hear the saying, it doesn't matter what they call you, it matters what you answer to. So keep that in mind. Village. Okay. My next question reads, sorry guys. So it's this girl that I really love, but we broke up recently. So while I tried to get her back, she found somebody else. How do I deal with that? What do I do? Because I am still heartbroken. So first, I would like to say that I'm sorry that you're heartbroken. I'm sorry that it didn't work out as planned. So I'm not sure what to really truly advise, because I don't know the whole story. I don't know why you all broke up. I don't know what happened during the length of your relationship. But let me just give you a possible scenario. So I was with a guy that I felt like, even though at the time that I could not prove it, but I felt like he was, cheating on me. I didn't really accuse him of it. I just always felt that way in the back of my mind. So when it all came out that he cheated, I broke up with him immediately. And as time went on, maybe about 1 or 2 months, it was like we didn't talk, but I could still tell that he wanted to say something to me. But by the time he built up enough courage to do so, I had already moved on. And even though I wasn't in a relationship, I was talking with someone that I knew I would be happier with if I chose to pursue that person. And he came to me at the end of the day and said that he realized that I probably was one of the biggest mistakes that he made was, cheating on me or doing me wrong. And I agreed. But sometimes you have to learn life lessons in that way. So I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not saying that she did anything wrong, because sometimes people just break up because it is time to break up. But in terms of your heartbrokenness, I would just suggest, you just keep moving forward every day. In time, your wounds will heal. Hopefully, even though you probably don't want to think this way, but just wish her the best. And you never know, you all may have broken up because someone is being sent your way. So don't try to be too sad about it. I understand heartbreaks if you've been with someone for a while and then to know that they're with someone else, how that may hurt. But don't allow it to encompass your entire being. So, in other words, I'm saying, try to stay positive, do things that you like to do that make you happy, whether it be playing sports, maybe playing video games, whatever it is that makes you happy and that can kind of take your mind off the fact that she is with someone else. I say do those things. And who knows, who's to say what will happen in the future? So, because you all aren't together right now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be together later on. But I am advising that if, the second chance does get to happen, that it was your fault, which I'm not saying it was, but if it was your fault the first time around, that you have learned from your mistakes, this time going in the relationship, you'll be a better young man for her overall. So, like I said, don't be down about it. She may just not have been the one. The one that is for you may be well on the way. But sometimes we do lose those people that we wish we would have treated differently. And it turns out to be a life lesson. And that person or this young lady may have just come into your life for a season to teach you a lesson about maybe how to properly treat young ladies. I'm not saying that's why, but I'm saying there's a multitude of ways that you can look at this scenario. But for the most part, you asked about, maintaining your happiness. And as I stated, I would focus on, as I always say, my schoolwork first, and then doing the things that makes you happy and that will take your mind off the fact that you two aren't together anymore. So I wish you good luck with that. And I know that you're going to make a young lady very happy. Village. Okay. And my last question of the day reads, so Dr. Foley, excuse my French, but it's hard for me. So I'm a former active gang member from Compton, and I worked to turn my life around 2 years ago. I stopped selling weed and gang banging. I have integrity now. But even though I'm enrolled at a community college, it's still hard for me. I'm trying to be happy. How can I build a happier life? How can I survive the wait time to a better life? I'm tired, Doc. I'm so tired. I grew up around crime, abuse. It's not my fault. So, first, let me commend you for taking the necessary steps to totally change your life around. Like, that is commendable. I am proud of you, but understand that life in itself is a very difficult task to move through and to navigate through. So, while you're in college, I say that is a great thing. What I would suggest that you do is to set monthly goals pertaining to how you're going to get to that next level in your life. So set monthly goals, set weekly goals if need be, just to keep your mind focused and positive in terms of daily survival. Because if you're used to living life one way and then you readjust, that readjustment may pose some difficulty at times. So I say embrace all of the things that are coming with this, the good and the bad, because you're learning more about yourself, more about the man that you desire to be. And as stated before, you're setting goals and putting yourself in a position to accomplish them. So that is all you need. Please know that life in itself is hard. You all, I go through things on a weekly, if not a daily basis. And sometimes I sit up and I wonder and I say, why me? Why does my life have to be so difficult? But then I have to be thankful for how far I've come. And then I realize that there are other people that are going through much worse. So, I just would, say, be thankful that you even were able to walk away from a gang. I know several students that have not been able to do that. And, gangs have been a result of their lives being taken. So one, life, we have to celebrate life. You have to celebrate life because that is a tremendous and wonderful thing. You have to know that you were put here to do great things. You have to know that somebody somewhere is waiting to hear your story and that you're inspiring them, even though you don't know it, even though you have not met that person yet. So I just strongly advise you to just keep moving forward, as difficult as it may be. As stated before, set daily goals. Make sure you mark off all those goals on a daily basis and love this person that you're becoming. Love the person who you were and the mistakes that you learned and gained along the way, and apply them to your life now. Now you know where you want to be. Now you know what type of life you don't want to live. Now you know what you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen. So again, As I stated, life is hard, you all, and you all will see as you continue to move. Life is based off of the decisions that you make. So at one point in time, you made some decisions. Now you're dealing with the after effects of life. And so you just have to be able to navigate through that. We all make mistakes. We all go through things that we wish we wouldn't have gone through. We all say at one point in time that life is difficult and I'm tired of it. I'm just ready to be successful. I battle with that every day. I know that I am successful, but in my mind, I want to be more successful. I want to be able to reach more people. And I know that it's a process. So you have to understand that life is a process that you must endure and that you have all of the tools and the skill set needed to do so. So never doubt yourself. Never feel like what you're doing is not going to help anyone else. Never ever feel like you're not going to reach your goals, because as long as you keep going and don't look back, because you're not going that way, just keep going and moving forward. You will become the great young man that you were put here to be. Village. Okay, you all, that's all for today. Thank you for your questions. Hey, if you have questions and you can't get to me, subscribe and send them down there. Let me know what you all have on your mind. I will answer whatever I can. I will point you in the right direction. I hope that you all enjoyed the show. I love you, Village. I'll see you next week. Peace.